Welcome to our mini talk on advanced and future treatments for gut problems and autism. I'm Professor James Adams at Arizona State University. I need to disclose I'm also the president of the Autism Nutrition Research Center, and I'm also the president of Gut-Brain Axis Therapeutics. These two companies produce two products that I'll tell you about in just a moment. And so the first treatment I'll tell you about is the ANRC Essentials Plus. This is a comprehensive vitamin, mineral, and micronutrient supplement based on over 20 years of research we've been conducting at ASU. 5 research studies demonstrate substantial benefit in many symptoms, including improvements in GI symptoms. 73% of children and adults report moderate, good, or great benefit. It's very well tolerated if taken with food, and you increase the dose gradually over 1 month. It's relatively high dose, but by gradually increasing the dose, it can be well tolerated. It includes several special ingredients that are relevant to gut improvement. It includes sulfate. 90% of people with autism are very low in sulfate. Sulfate is needed to detoxify many bacterial and yeast toxins. It also contains many important antioxidants to reduce the oxidative stress that caused when the bacteria and yeast disrupt the function of our mitochondria, and also includes many ingredients to support mitochondrial function, such as CoQ10 and others. Another important treatment are therapeutic diets. We did a national survey of over 1,200 families to determine what were the best treatments for them, including diets. And so we found that the best diets for constipation were in order, the ketogenic diet, then the corn-free diet, a gluten-free, casein-free diet, and a paleo diet. The best treatments for diarrhea were corn-free, a gluten-free, casein-free diet, a non-allergenic diet, a specific carbohydrate diet, a soy-free diet, a ketogenic diet, and a paleo diet. Feingold diet was also one of the most highly rated treatments because it involves avoiding artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives. And that's because they require the same detoxification system, sulfate, that is needed for many bacterial and yeast toxins. So in autism, the body is so busy getting rid of these bacterial and yeast toxins through sulfate, it doesn't have much sulfate left to deal with these artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives. So therefore, children with autism are more sensitive to them. And I do want to make one caution here, although the diets in general are very safe, the ketogenic diet is a very extreme diet, and although it can be very helpful, it should only be done under careful medical and nutritional supervision. Customized probiotics. We conducted the largest probiotic study for autism, published it earlier this year. It involved 296 children and adults with autism, and we compared their gut bacteria against 123 neurotypical controls. For each child, we conducted a stool analysis of their microbiome and then customized the probiotic for that person. This was done by Flori. This product was Flori, which is available from Sun Genomics. We observed modest benefits for both constipation and diarrhea. It's not a cure, but it does help. Flori continues to offer both the customized probiotics for individuals, and they also have now produced 2 general probiotics for autism, Flori Mood Support and Flori Pathways Support. And those are both available from their website. Antifungals are another very important type of treatment for autism. Roughly 50% of people with autism have a hidden yeast or fungal infection in their gut. It's difficult to detect and treat because it forms a biofilm on the intestinal lining. So it doesn't show up too well on stool tests because it's binding to the intestines, not so much in the stool. The only obvious symptom of a yeast infection is worse autism symptoms because the yeast toxins primarily affect brain function in the same way that alcohol has an effect on brain. And alcohol, remember, is just a toxin made by yeast. The 2 top-rated treatments for autism, according to a national survey of 23,000 people, The two top-rated treatments, surprisingly enough, not any psychiatric medication or supplement. It's nystatin and diflucan, two powerful antifungals. So the simple recommendation is that everyone with autism should be tested for yeast or fungal infection and then treat them with an antifungal and a low sugar, low carb diet because those yeast infections can often return after the antifungal. It can be very difficult to eradicate. They can last for many years. They have a very sneaky way to fight and weaken the immune system so they can survive. Another treatment to consider is Saccharomyces boulardii, a beneficial yeast, which may be helpful, although we'd like to see more research on it. Also, just very important to avoid antibiotics. Even though bacterial infections are present in most children with autism, national survey by the Autism Research Institute found that antibiotics generally worsen symptoms or often have no effect, and only rarely do they improve symptoms. They need to be used very cautiously, only under expert medical supervision by very knowledgeable physicians. Overuse of antibiotics, especially in infancy, is one of the major risk factors for developing these gut problems to begin with. And then you can learn more from our ANRC Treatment Radar app. This is based on, again, our national survey of 1,200 autism families. It rates over 150 medications, supplements, diets, and therapies, provides detailed information on which symptoms are improved or worsened by each treatment. And you can search by symptom, so you can find the top-rated treatments for each symptom. It's available for free on iPhones in the App Store. Also, ANRC has just recently created a consultant program, which is able to provide individualized education, and you can learn more about that on our website. And then finally, what I'm most excited about is the work we've been doing on a future treatment, microbiota transplant therapy. This is an investigational therapy, not yet approved by the FDA. It involves using vancomycin, a special antibiotic, for 2 weeks to kill off harmful bacteria, then a bowel cleanse to remove remaining bacteria, and then microbiota transplant from very special donors, the top few percent healthiest Americans. And we need to treat them not just for a day or two, but daily for 8 to 16 weeks. And slowly, gradually, those gut symptoms begin improving. And then a little bit later, the autism symptoms begin improving. We've completed 4 successful clinical trials for autism and a related rare condition called Pitt-Hopkins. We have 2 more clinical trials underway. We've observed up to 80% reduction in gut symptoms. We've observed that on average, severe autism is reduced to mild to moderate autism, or even below the cutoff for autism, with benefits lasting 2 or more years, some cases up to 5 years. We have openings now for accredited investors to help fund our final phase 3 trials to achieve FDA approval. So we're getting close. GBAT is a very unique company funded by autism families. I'm an autism dad and appreciate the 70 autism families that have invested in GBAT to help their family and all autism families. So please consider joining us in our mission to help everyone with autism. Thank you very much.